Good morning, Horizon. It's Tuesday, the week of Passion Week, and as you know, we're watching Jesus teach through the week, leading up to First Monday, Thursday, Good Friday, Holy Saturday, and then Easter Sunday. Today, I've chosen a passage out of Matthew 25 for us to read and think about on this day. Matthew 25, 1 through 13. At that time, the kingdom of heaven will be like 10 virgins who took their lamps and went out to meet the bridegroom. 5 of them were foolish, and 5 were wise. The foolish ones took their lamps, but did not take any oil with them. The wise ones, however, took oil in jars along with their lamps. The bridegroom was a long time in coming, and they all became drowsy and fell asleep. At midnight the cry rang out, "Here's the bridegroom, come out to meet him." Then all the virgins woke up and trimmed their lamps. The foolish ones said to the wise, "Give us some of your oil. Our lamps are going out." "No," they replied, "there may not be enough for both of us and you. Instead, go to those who sell oil and buy some for yourselves." But while they were on their way to buy the oil, the bridegroom arrived. The virgins who were ready went in with him to the banquet, and the door was shut. Later the others also came. "Lord, Lord," they said, "open the door for us." But he replied, "Truly I tell you, I do not know you. Therefore keep watch, because you do not know the hour or the day." So this is a famous story in a set of 3. Anytime you get 3 in the Bible, it's a trilogy. It's meant to draw your attention to the points being made. So Jesus here in Matthew 25 tells 3 stories. This is the first. The second one is about the talents. The third one is about the sheep and the goats. All are somewhat similar, and so this one will be a good primer for you if you want to go back and study the other 2 as well in Matthew 25. Here Jesus takes something from the normal culture around them to illustrate a point. At that time, a bride and the bridesmaids would wait at the bride's home, and the groom would come and say it's time for the wedding is ready, all the preparations are done. So he would come to the groom's house, and the whole party would leave the home and go to the wedding site. There would be music and tambourines and singing, right? So it was a whole process. And here, this is the story that Jesus tells. There are 10 virgins, 10 bridesmaids here that are waiting with the bride. There was a delay, and this was not atypical, right? So the groom would only come when everything was ready, so they couldn't know exactly when the groom would arrive in that culture. So he would make sure the wedding site was finished, food, wine, all the participants were there, and then he would go to the bride's home. So this is not atypical. In this story, it was an exceedingly long delay. He doesn't come until midnight, so unexpectedly long. There are 10 virgins there, and we think it's not really a lamp proper, but perhaps a stick with a rag topped, soaked in oil and lit to light the path to the wedding here that's in view. Either way, it's a lamp. 10 of them, 5 of them were prepared for a long wait, and 5 of them weren't. 5 of them were ready for any eventuality, and 5 were not ready. So in this scenario, the 5 that were ready could go along with the groom. They had light to light the path. They could participate in the ceremony. 5 had to go and try to make other preparations, and when they got to the wedding, they were shut out. They had insulted the party, the bride and groom, and so were not let into the wedding. Okay, so that's the point. Jesus tells us what the story is all about. He says, "I tell you, I don't know you. Therefore, keep watch, because you do not know the day or the hour." It reminds me of a phrase that I once heard, a bumper sticker I saw once that said, "Jesus is coming, look busy." The idea here is not for us to look busy because Jesus is coming. The idea here is to live towards the kingdom, to be ready for the kingdom, to be poised for the kingdom, to to live into the kingdom of God. That's the phrase that keeps coming to mind. So we live in uncertain days. You know that. The shelter in place is a weary and worrisome time. The idea here is, again, to connect the dots and for us to not just be Christians in word, but Christians in life and deed. Not just espouse certain beliefs intellectually about Jesus, God, the kingdom, but actually live out and live into those beliefs. It seems to me that this is a day for us to remember that we're always ready for God and His kingdom, both in the ultimate sense and in the immediate sense. Like we are to be asking, God, what are you doing now that I can participate in? This is a way of leaning into the kingdom. And it's also a way of readying yourself for what God will do in the day that is to come. So again, on this week and this time, it's an encouragement to you to hear Jesus' teaching, to ready the heart and life for God and His kingdom, both now and in the life to come. Grace and peace to you.